Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is ZS Deviations. Apparently a water treatment facility left abandoned some months after some unknown apocalypse has ravaged the world. And with a premise like that, I can't help but be reminded of the otherworldly circumstances surrounding GM Xanthus. And by the look of that boat, I'd like to imagine that the character we're in right now is someone who was caught up in that apocalypse, having no idea what happened, and only now washing up on shore hoping to find some answers. Now, whether we'll be able to find some answers as to the nature of what happened inside, I don't know. But it seems like whatever happened, it hasn't wiped everything out. We can still hear the sounds of insects and seagulls overhead. Although I don't see any, and it seems that quite a dense fog has fallen over this coastal city. Before we go inside, let's move down a little bit just to see if we can't maybe find some kind of, no. I wasn't sure just how far this road would go, but it looks like this area has been sealed off. Anything inside this truck? No. Although, if this had been a nuclear apocalypse, we could have survived by hiding in that fridge. Alright, let's get ourselves off this road, which, you know, from the look of it, at one time would have been a really nice place for a jog, huh? Sit down right here in the morning, watch the sunrise, maybe snap a few pictures. It looks like there's some kind of rail track running over this. Maybe we'll be able to get up there and... Ooh. That is a military APC on the back of that train. Did whatever happened perhaps warrant some kind of military response? I mean, this is a zombie survival map, but rarely do I take things like that at face value. Let's see what's over here on our right first. Actually, can we get inside this little outbuilding? This is the kind of thing that I kind of suspect was probably disused even before the apocalypse. Else it's become very overgrown in just a few months. But then again, in my experience, if a place is abandoned, even for a short amount of time, decay depends less on how long it's been, and more on what is open. Are there holes in the ceiling? Are the windows open? Because it's really once the water gets inside that things start to crumble. Well, the power's still on. I wonder if there's not maybe some... Something might still be here with us. Is this a job for the safety Glock? And... hang on. I can't quite tell if those are whispers or if it's just the sound of air moving through the ducts. I'm hearing all kinds of weird sounds, but the roadway barriers want what the roadway barriers want, so all we can do is head inside and explore. I feel like in this situation, not knowing what happened to the world, lost at sea for months, this would be the last thing I'd want to try. Well, if the power still holds, then we can open this door, right? There we go. Yes? No? And now that the sounds of the wind on the coast, the waves lapping at the shore have subsided, I am far more attuned to what sounds like something moving inside here. Narrow spaces like this, full of pipes and all, always reminds me of the likes of GM Krot and GM Boreas. Earth surrenders. If we really are doing zombies, I don't know if they'll be in a position to accept your surrender. Now, if this is a lobby, then it'll probably serve as some kind of central hub which we can use to access the rest of the building. Okay. Service is good. What happened here? Okay, the zombie apocalypse idea is no longer on the table. At least not any kind of zombie apocalypse I've ever seen. Can we get up here? Ooh. The gravity's all weird here. I can jump so much higher than usual. Oh! This isn't even a hole in the ceiling. It's like it leads right out of reality itself. Almost as if the ceiling was the threshold between dimensions. Can we platform up this? What if we bump into... We can't bump into you. Whoops. Jump up here. We can do platforming to some degree. Platforming so weirdly that I'm jumping up through my own neck. But that might be as high as we can get. What happened here? And if this is anything like GM Boreas, is what happened here somehow tied to this place itself? Is this water treatment facility somehow ground zero? Like, were they conducting some kind of secret research? And if so, was me being drawn here more than coincidence? It looks like they set up barricades to try and, I guess, hold something off from whatever's beyond there. Yeah, there seems to be an invisible wall here I can't jump through. And I can still hear the sounds of things running around overhead or possibly in the vents? Echo 4 NTech. Yeah, it's starting to seem like this is more than a water treatment facility. Hope you enjoy your stay. Yep, there we go. Echo 4 Research Facility. This place was a cover-up and a half, and... well, I guess they found something they couldn't cover up anymore, judging by the state of the street. You know, actually, given the similarity of events and style of the map, you could almost make the argument that maybe whatever happened here, maybe it happened globally. Like, it starts here, but it leads to the circumstances of GM Xanthus. That seemed to be, like, different areas of the world were basically, like, teleported into one another. And here we see, well, what seems to be a hole in reality. Now, we can't open this door for whatever reason. But perhaps we can enter another way? Tried and true. Now, this place had some real cozy accommodations, huh, for the staff? A nice lounge area, thick padded seats, wall full of books right here. And bars, even though I do not drink, I have always found to be very cozy. Bathroom's a little bit more spacious than need be. Anything back here? No. I guess they're out of whatever that is. Not sure I really wanted to find out, though. That explains why we can't open it. It's actually barricaded. Huh. So it's like people tried to seal themselves in here and then just vanished afterwards. I'm not entirely sure this skylight makes any sense. Hang on. Let's get out here for a moment, past the LOD wall. I suppose it could, but it seems unlikely. Alright, let's get back and find out what's through here. This looks to be some kind of security room. Yeah. Lots of servers and computers. But it still doesn't really tell me anything. Back here in this dark corner is probably where I'd be huddled in the event of the Thing style scenario. It wouldn't protect me, but I would sure feel better until something came and got me. Probably, in Hollywood fashion, it would get me through the vent that I'm keeping my back towards. But it does sort of look like they had time to erect some kind of more formal barricades. Definitely still sounds like something's moving around in here. It's like they had time to prepare for something, and then those preparations completely failed, and then they moved to more panicked piling of furniture against doors like Scooby-Doo. Looks like the crowbar is going to be the only way to accomplish stuff like this. Well, somebody made a home in here. But just like the other places, it's like they just vanished. Anybody survive in the bathroom? It's the one place the zombies never seem to think to look. Except in Project Zomboid, then it's where they gather. Oh, this also serves as the bathroom to this very nice-looking bar. Okay, well, if I didn't know that they had done enough research to cause the apocalypse, I would think that this whole place was basically a front to get grant money so you can build awesome hangout spots. This is amazing. Can't open this door here. Bossman's office? All the patterns fade. In situations like this, I always have to wonder what is going on with this. That's not what I meant to say, that's just a thought, an immediate reaction to seeing whatever this is. Oddly enough, this almost feels like some kind of attempted communication. Like it means something. Alright, well, what I was gonna say is, in a situation like this, a lab event gone wrong, I have to wonder just how screwed they knew they were. Like, if they were maybe aware of the danger this posed and tried to stop it, only to later have their worst fears realized. Oh, great. Oh, great. Like all such maps, it has us moving underground. Or at least, I think so? We have to try it, right? Ugh. Okay, note to self. Traveling through these things causes teleportation. And I guess somebody didn't have so much luck with that. Probably would have had a smoother landing if the pool was full. Which, now that I look at this, I do wonder if this isn't maybe inspired by the pool in Pripyat. Oh, but just look at this. Those shafts of light coming through the windows. A foggy, featureless day outside with the vines and overgrowth hanging from the ceiling. This place looks like it's been abandoned for more than a few months, and I just cannot help but walk into that meme everywhere I go, huh? That just begs the question, who would have taken the time to board this up? This might have been a disused part of the facility, assuming we are still in the same place, even before the apocalypse. No, we can't get through that. Alright, so where to next? There's a few different doorways we can take, but I think the best thing to do would be to head outside and see what we can see. Maybe learn where we actually are in relation to where we came from. That's a building on the horizon. And wait, if I turn to my left, I can just barely see a water tower down below. So there's likely still structures in the forest down there. Were I in this situation, I would probably be looking for a way down there so that I can make my way towards that tower. But doing so may not be entirely safe. I will say, though, in an apocalyptic scenario, this might not be the worst place to be. I mean, if you can fix up the interior, and we've yet to see the full state. I mean, look, you've got what is essentially a lookout tower, able to see all around for miles, provided the fog isn't permanent. Woods for maybe hunting, assuming the wildlife survives, which, by the sound of it, it seems to have. This actually has the makings of a base. Yep, same facility. And seemingly an invisible door. Oh, fun. Haven't seen one of you guys since Haunted Sears. Oh, listen to that wind whistling through the open ceilings. Now it's like real exploring. I can hear the sound of water dripping all over. And from the logo, it seems this is still the same facility. Now this reminds me of places I've been. Look at that mold on the wall back there and on the floor. Guaranteed to happen when water's been getting in like this. But the power situation is still deeply confusing to me. Can't open this. Can open this. I wonder if any of these vehicles would be working. I mean, if so, certainly not a bad starting point. You know what, now that I think about it, if you can figure out where that first area is in relation to this part of the facility, that would actually be a great entrance. Because say you're coming in hot, chased by bandits, right? All you have to do is run in here and dive down the portal to nowhere. Nobody's gonna follow you through there. I don't think we're gonna be able to leave through here. What is this? Real fancy. Which is why it's kind of weird that they cheaped out on this skylight in particular, huh? Oh, look, see? Nutrition for years. This place is shaping up already. You could eat these tree stars right here, if my childhood training has taught me anything. You know, when I explore these maps, I kind of feel like Shaggy and Scooby. Always heading straight for where there might be food first. I don't know how large this facility is, but this is the third coffee bar we've encountered. Although, as usual, it looks like quite a cozy one indeed. Locked. And open. Yeah, see, even the bathrooms have nicer skylights than the one over your weird art piece. This is why this needs to be my apocalypse base. It's because I need to come in here and just sims it up. For example, all this office space? No need for administration anymore. Who needs it? Ah, this was somebody's private hangout spot. Got all you need. Computers, books, that light bulb. Back here is where you can live the life. This would be my room. At least unlike... Okay, maybe this place is already occupied. Okay, now I'm having flashbacks to GM Crot instead. Apparently somebody's drawing fox girls on the whiteboard? You know, this would be calming if it weren't mixing in with all the other ambiance, and if anything, only making me a little bit more on edge. Let's see if these doors will open for us. Maybe we need the panel. There we are. Requiring a panel to get in and out of the showers seems like an oversight, not really very fire safe. But I'm definitely gonna have to clean this place up if it's to be mine. There's an elevator, but I can't imagine it's working. No, I really gotta wonder what otherworldly beasts were summoned by these portals. I mean, if I can go through them, who's to say anything else can't? Now, do we start moving upstairs, or do we finish exploring this floor? I forgot that this is, in fact, ostensibly a water treatment facility. Of course, we learned that's not really the case. Wait. Oh, great, it's another one of these. Although this one seems to have perhaps a little bit more method to the madness. Here, it's almost like it created a hallway ending in a door. Although that door really seems to be an elevator that's been pulled out of its shaft. That is so strange. It's like periodically throughout the building, there's just these tears in reality that don't necessarily have to even work with the structures around it. For example, this hallway can be completely taken by this, but a one parallel to it that should intersect doesn't necessarily have to. Hang on. The shadow of a person? What does happen to the people who are in these spaces when this happens? This doesn't look safe. This really doesn't look safe, although nothing's happened to me thus far. Something tells me this isn't a substance you want pooling like this. How do we get out of here? Now, this is the point where I would normally wait right here with my crowbar, ready to bash whatever's about to crawl through. But it just leads us back to here. And to the thumbnail image. Probably not for this video, but for the workshop page. See, these reflections in the glass keep making me think that I see things moving out of the corner of my eye. Which is not a good thing to have happen when you're constantly hearing things. Now that's a little bit weird. The lights from here kind of looked like daylight from the other side, but sadly no such luck. It's always a scary thing when you think you're so close to a breath of fresh air, and it turns out that the lighting was electric. Even in here, doesn't that look like a warm glow coming through a window in the morning? But nope, just another light bar wedged in the back. It looks like somebody tried to do something and was stopped. The generator room is completely flooded, which once again begs the question of how is the power on? And I'll tell you what I think. Some of you guys, when I was playing Stalker, suggested that the lights still being on in some bunkers isn't actually a result of still having power, but rather being somewhat frozen in time by the anomalies. Maybe a similar thing is happening here, and this is just meant to show us that. This whole building is just full of actually fairly comfy hidey holes that you could slip into. But unlike other types of apocalypse, with this, there's no reassurance that somebody will find you eventually. What is this? Some kind of loading bay? A loading bay which falls into yet another one of these anomalous pits. Travel by vent is looking more and more appealing by the moment. And this brings us right back to here. Tell you what, have we been down here yet? No, but the further down we go, the more I expect flooding. Although we can probably thank those pits for actually suctioning off a lot of water, which makes it all the weirder in places where it hasn't. Nothing in here. Also, I shouldn't be doing this. I'd imagine that any pool of water in this place poses an immense electrocution risk. These bathrooms look interesting. bathrooms look like a great way to momentarily distract ourselves while we don't jump into the void yet again. Well, that was fun. Time to jump into the void. I wonder if there's not maybe a difference between just letting ourselves go into the pit and actually trying to platform our way down. Wait. Whoa, wait. I think I know what this is doing. Hang on. Don't need the flashlight for this. Let's jump onto these pathways, if one can call them that. And in that way, some parts of this do actually seem to be deliberate. We can use this to climb back up, but we don't want to climb back up. We want to go down, because down actually looks surprisingly familiar, doesn't it? Let's jump. Ugh. The low gravity breaks our fall. Yeah, that looks like where we came up through the ceiling in the first area, doesn't it? I'm wondering, if we make our way all the way down here, can we just get back to where we started? Here we are. That is so cool. Now, you gotta keep in mind, this is a zombie survival map, so a lot of what these game modes are... Stop that. Is just constantly being pushed back until you finally make a final stand. But with this, it could almost be a circular loop. You get pushed back to the end and then just jump back down to where you started. I'm really curious to know how that would play out in actual gameplay. Now, having taken the pool party portal back, I'm curious if we get something different by climbing up here. Crowbar actually coming in very handy in this episode. And it brings us through to this observation room. Wait. It sounds like this computer is still printing something out. It's been months since the apocalypse, so it must be one of those school printers that I always had to use. And this just brings us back down to here. Okay, so I think we've seen most of this place at this point. Tell you what we have not really done is explore more Abyss. I know that there's more to it. So this comes out over here. Okay, so this is how we got here. And this raises a lot of... Oh, this brings us back to the initial area. Right on top of here. So there's all kinds of sneakiness you could do using these portals. Alright. What happens if we try jumping into the elevator? Which might be a little bit on the difficult side, especially in VR. Yep. Nothing? Ugh. Seeing that move up and down kind of gave me motion sickness for a second. I don't know why I feel so... I don't know. I'm getting real vertigo standing in this for some reason. Let's get out of here. I also wonder what happens if we allow ourselves to just fall. Oh, we'll be bounced right straight back up. Now this would make for some interesting zombie gameplay. Oh, I got teleported again. I feel like the Terminator when that happens. So, I've been messing around in NoClip to see if there's not maybe anything that I missed. Of course, NoClip isn't 100% because this map is doing shenanigans with portals. But oh yeah, I missed this on my way down. This is my room. You know why? Because nobody could bother me. Look, it's got a jacuzzi and everything! Canned drinks. I'm king in here. Literally, this is my dream. Just a jacuzzi mere feet from my bed. And it's got watermelon. And, traditional watermelon juice. On my void-facing windowsill, which increases the property value, as we all know. Now what happens if we leap from this void-facing windowsill? We cannot. Sad. Well, there goes my retirement plan. Oh, you know, it's only on my way back up that I realized there's a rope hanging from the end of this container. Somebody realized they could get down here and made a plan for if they intended to come back up. Which, you know, to get back into speculating about the map itself instead of trying to scope out property like I always do, I really have to wonder what actually became of the people that inhabited this facility when this all went down. We haven't really found much evidence of what this actually is, but it really does feel like they knew what was going down before anybody else. I do believe that it started here. But there's nothing to actually indicate what that research was, at least not that I've seen, or at least not that I've been able to put together. Now, it seems like something more than just whatever glitch in reality is happening occurred here. They barricaded things, they sealed areas off. Some of them tried to hide. But from what? We're hearing things all around, but we haven't seen anything. Now, I realize that this is meant as a zombie survival map, but I don't take that as the explanation because, well, nothing else about this indicates zombies. We never did crawl through here. But I think we did walk through down below. Yeah, that's what this is, just a maze of hiding spots. And why not? Why not start investigating vents? Or maybe we can just open them? There we are. Okay, this requires a flashlight. What else is here? A ladder going even farther down. What else? See, I'm trying to find places that I maybe haven't seen before. Places that might only be accessible via vent. Well, as an anomaly tester, I have to figure out where each of these things goes. Yep. Right back out here. In my no-clip adventures, I discovered this little alleyway, though I'm not quite sure how one would get here. Nor how one would get out. Can we maybe do a little bit of platforming right here? I suppose we can. Strange, though, that that area exists at all. I really do think that GM Xanthus, whatever's going on there, this is related. And I haven't checked to see if they're by the same creator, but it's just so similar. Of course, what we're seeing here is more the points where reality falls apart. But the impression that I always got from GM Xanthus is that it's like different elements of the world, different locations have teleported and sort of merged with one another. It's just too similar to overlook. And especially there's the question of, you know, what did actually happen to the inhabitants? On GM Xanthus, it seemed like everyone didn't just vanish, that they kept living on for some time after, and some really weird stuff happened between them in that time. With this, at points it almost looks like they just vanished, but in others, it seems like they all just kind of kept their distance from each other, formed their own little enclaves in whatever crevices they could. What really gets me about these maps is the speculation. Not knowing what you're walking through, and and not knowing what the threat is. Not knowing if the threat is still here, or if it even could be. And whether that's any better than just nothing being here at all. Looking out at shapes on the horizon and wondering if maybe there's people there, or if it really is the same everywhere. I guess that's the question with any apocalypse media. Is it like this everywhere? Is there somewhere safe, or is it better just to adapt to this new reality? If that's even possible. That's the kind of sound that makes me think of tall alien beings walking around down there over the treetops. And maybe that tower feels like salvation, or maybe the journey will kill me and it's better to just stay here in the horrible place I know, rather than the one I don't. Now, as to the craftsmanship of this map, it is absolutely amazing. I mean, just look around at all this destruction, this overgrowth, and just the effort that goes into the geometry of the map itself. I mean, this place is beautiful. The attention to lighting, I mean, look at these shafts coming through these angled windows, the dust suspended in the air, and the sound design, the roar of the wind and waves outside, which reduces to a dull whistle as you step inside, occasionally cut into by the sound of what may be something walking around upstairs, or howling in the vents. It's a place that simultaneously feels like a refuge in what must be a dangerous world outside, and a death trap where you don't really know what's around every corner. I love that idea. It's almost the feeling that I got from Darkwood, where I was only safe in my house, and I was not at all safe in my house. I have completely forgotten to come down here. Hang on, I can't do my outro yet. Okay, not much of note. False alarm. I'm sure this will be a lot of people's favorite room on the map, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm starting to see why. This feels a lot, especially in VR, like what actual exploring feels like. Walking around in a place that you can tell was beautiful once, and in a way is beautiful now, just in a different way. Being sheltered while nevertheless still out in what is essentially a completely unfiltered adventure. I think I'll sit around here for a little while longer. Oh, look, they've got a fountain outside and everything. Tear these boards down and it'll be even more cozy. But if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this map out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.